Om Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sri Guru Samhita. The legend of the Supreme Guru. Original in Marathi as Sri Guru Charitra by Sri Gangadhara Saraswati. Composition in Sanskrit by His Holiness Sri 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 Vasudevananda Saraswati, also known as Tembe Maharaj. This translation into English is provided by Dr. Narasimhaswamy Banavara. Chapter 17. Praises of education and granting of knowledge to the dullard. Salutations to Lord Ganapati. Salutations to Lord Dattatreya. 1. Guru Siddha said to the ardent devotee Namadharaka, O Namadharaka, you have profound devotion at the lotus feet of the Supreme Guru. You are thoroughly immersed in those feet. 2. Just as a cool breeze is an indication of the oncoming rains, similarly, your immense interest in hearing the legend of the Supreme Guru is an all indication that all your miseries and afflictions shall be destroyed as a result of the Supreme Guru's mercy upon you. 3. This legend is like the Kamadhenu, the all-wish fulfilling celestial cow. I shall describe it to you in great detail. O Namadharaka, you are my favorite disciple. Pay attention and listen. 4. The Supreme Guru resided on the western banks of the river Krishna in the service of goddess Bhuneshwari. He resided under the extremely pure and holy Adambara, that is fig tree. 5. He undertook the vow of Chaturmasya at the extremely pure spot under the holy Adambara tree. He was an expert in all the rituals. Though he was invisible to the common eyes, he used to become visible only to the sadhus, that is ascetics. Note, every sannyasi undertakes the vow of Chaturmasya, that is 4 months, residing at one place for 4 months' time during rainy season. Normally, a sannyasi is not supposed to reside at any place for more than 5 days' time except in this situation. 6. The abode of the goddess Bhuneshwari is very holy and renowned as a seat of high powers. Since the Supreme Guru made a sankalpa, that is Solomon vow, to reside there during his Chaturmasya vows, the legend of that site grew even more immensely far and wide. 7. Hearing the Guru Siddha's words, Namadharaka saluted the Guru and asked him, why did the Supreme Guru, who is the very manifestation of the Supreme Spirit, reside there incognito and in seclusion? 8. How did his daily rituals and penance go on? Where did he go to beg for food, that is bhiksha? Why should the Supreme Guru, who is always contented and grant everybody else's desires, have to go through all this? Please have mercy on me and clarify my doubts. 9. Guru Siddha said, my child, Namadharaka, listen. I shall tell you everything. The Supreme Lord Shiva has the ability to grant everyone their desires. Still, he has to beg for his food. Similarly, the Supreme Lord Dattatreya performed severe penance. 10. Though he was the Trinity incarnate, he dressed like a beggar, went on pilgrimages, performed all rituals, and even begged for food. All of this was done to bless the devotees and provide guidance to the people of the world, and for no other apparent reason. 11. Even though the Supreme Guru remained incognito and invisible to the world, this was for some time only. He would become visible to the people from time to time in different pilgrimage centers in order to bless them. 12. The Supreme Guru is himself a holy pilgrimage. In order to bless us all, he would visit different pilgrimage centers. He remained invisible at times only to avoid those greedy people and thugs who were not eligible to receive his blessings. 13. The Supreme Guru is like the radiant sun. How can he ever be invisible to the world? Even if one hides the kasturi, that is musk deer, how is it possible to hide its fragrance? 14. I shall give you one more example. The Supreme Guru is like the divine Kalpavriksha. Wherever this tree is in this world, be it visible or invisible to the common eyes, people get all their wishes fulfilled there. 15. Similarly, though the Supreme Guru remained invisible to the common eye, his greatness and miracles were not invisible. Therefore, he had to become visible to the common man at times. At this time, a marvel occurred that spread the legend and fame of the Supreme Guru all over the world. I shall describe it to you. Listen. 16. In the city of Karavirapura, that is modern Kolhapur in the state of Maharashtra, there lived a Brahmin who was proficient in the Vedas and the other scriptures. He was also an expert in the Puranas and the Shastras. He was a teacher by profession. He was great among the different scholars there. 17. He was an expert in logic, grammar, and the other fields of knowledge. He belonged to the Rig Vedic school. He was meticulous in performance of daily rituals and in following the path of duty. 18. This great Brahmin scholar had a son who was a dullard. Unfortunately, the great scholar died at a very young age. 19. The son grew up under the care of his mother. He soon became 7 years of age. According to the procedures of their division, the Brahmins arranged for the Upanayan, that is sacred thread ceremony for the boy. 20. Fate had, however, dealt a different blow. The boy had no interest in any of the rituals that a brahmachari had to perform. So the Brahmins thought, how can we teach him the holy Gayatri mantra and the other mantras? This boy is like a dumb animal. How can anyone teach him the Vedas? 21. Even if the dullard boy learnt a few things by trying hard, he would soon forget everything as he had no interest in any learning. 22. The scholars in that city would always criticize him, saying, you fool, you have been born in the family of scholars, but you are a fool and a dullard. 23. You stupid boy, your father was a great scholar. He was very learnt and knowledgeable in all the Vedas, Shastras and the Puranas. You have been born as a big useless rock to the great scholar. Shame on you, you fool. 24. Your life is a sheer waste. You have brought disrepute to your father's name. Why don't you tie a big rock to your body and drown yourself in the well? 25. It is a waste that you have been born in such a good family. Your life is similar to that of a pig. Your only destiny is the city of Lord Yama, that is the god of death. You have only bad qualities. 26. A learnt man always shines among men. Education is his biggest and the most invaluable treasure. Such a knowledgeable man especially shines all over the world. 27. A man in whom immense knowledge has made its home shall experience all the wealth and prosperity that life has to offer. Everyone respects and worships a learnt and famous man. 28. Nobody respects a man who has no education or knowledge, even though he is an elderly man. On the other hand, even elders respect a man who is learned even though he may be young in age. 29. A person who has no brothers in life has education as his brother. That is why human beings must have an education. Scholars are respected everywhere. 30. Even if a person is in a foreign land where he has no friends or relatives, but if he is well versed and knowledgeable in all the Vedas, Shastras and other scriptures, he will be looked upon and highly respected as a relative and as a friend. 31. Whoever is well versed in education is a learnt and knowledgeable man. All the gods happily reside in the body of that man. He will be eligible for all sorts of worship and respect. 32. Normally everyone respects the king who rules the land, but even the king will happily worship and respect a learned scholar. 33. Whoever does not have family wealth or prosperity has education as his supreme wealth. That is why one must study and get a good education. Whoever has no education is similar to an animal. 34. Hearing these words uttered by a Brahmin, the dullard boy saluted him and said, O master, your words are true. You are commanding me to get an education. 35. Perhaps I did not impart education to anyone in my last birth. That is why I am not able to learn anything in this life. What can I do? 36. Please have mercy and rescue this sinner somehow. If there are any means to get an education, please tell me. 37. Hearing these words spoken by the fool, the Brahmin laughed and said, You fool, you have no way of getting an education in this life. When this is the case, how can you expect to achieve anything in your next life? 38. You are not a human being, you are an animal. Then, how can you ever get an education? Go beg for food and take care of the needs of your stomach. You shall always remain a fool. You are the destroyer of your great ancestry. 39. Thus everyone criticized the poor boy with mean and spiteful words. Though the boy was born a dullard, as he was born as the son of a scholarly Brahmin, every word that the others uttered stood firmly rooted in his mind. He soon became dejected and dispassionate in life. Immediately he set off for the lonely forest. 40. Alas, everyone criticizes me. I shall give up my life. I am an animal with no intelligence whatsoever. What is the use of my being alive? 41. Shame on me and my life. A dog's life is far better than mine, where I am criticized every day. Enough is enough. What kind of a life am I leading? Thus criticizing himself, he became despondent. 42. Then he went to the village of Bilavati, abounding all fruits and water, and began a fasting ritual on the eastern banks of the river Krishna. 43. That is the abode of the goddess Bhuneshwari. The Brahmin boy went to the temple to have darshan of the goddess. 44. Having abandoned the daily rituals that had to be performed by all Brahmins, he began to cry uncontrollably in front of goddess and began his fasting ritual. 45. 3 days passed. His mental fortitude broke down and he was devastated. He began to beg the goddess to have mercy on him and to be pleased with him. He did not drink even a little water. He did not eat even a single morsel of food. 46. He, however, did not obtain the darshan of the goddess even in his dream. After a while, the Brahmin boy got angry at the goddess and asked her, O mother, O Devi, O Bhavani, why are you disregarding my prayers so? 47. The boy was overcome with anger. He took out a sharp knife and cut his tongue off with it. He offered the cut tongue at the feet of the goddess. 48. Nothing happened. The boy thought to himself, O goddess, you are still not pleased with me. If you still disregard me, I shall cut off my own head and offer it to you. This is certain. 49. Thus the Brahmin boy decided to cut off his own head and offer it to the goddess. The despondent boy slept that night in front of the goddess. He had a dream in which the goddess appeared before him. O people, listen carefully. 50. The goddess said to the boy, O child, O brahmachari, listen to me. Why are you so angry with me now? Go immediately to the western banks of the river Krishna and seek refuge with the Guru and saint who resides there. 51. The saint is near the holy Adambara tree. He is very powerful saint. He is the embodiment of all knowledge and wisdom. 51. He is the very incarnation of Lord Shiva. He will help fulfill all your desires. 52. Thus the goddess Bhuneshwari explained everything clearly to the Brahmin boy in his dream. Then the boy awoke and happily and enthusiastically proceeded to the western banks of the river Krishna in search of the Supreme Guru. 53. He crossed the river Krishna, went to the other banks and immediately saw the Supreme Guru, who is the Great One protecting all the orphans of the world. 54. Seeing the Supreme Guru, he placed his head at the Supreme Guru's feet and praised him from the bottom of his heart. The Supreme Guru was pleased and assured the boy. 55. The Supreme Guru happily placed his hand on the fool's head. Instantly the boy's tongue, which he had cut, became normal and the boy was transformed into a very learned and knowledgeable man. 56. He became proficient in all the Vedas, Shastras and the Puranas. He became an expert in logic, grammar and the other scriptures. He gained mastery in all the fields of knowledge and became famous all over the world. 57. Just as a black and ugly crow goes to the holy Manasa Sarovara and gets transformed into a divine swan by bathing in the holy waters, similarly by the very touch of the Supreme Guru, the dullard fool was transformed into a great scholar. Note, the Manasa Sarovara is a divine lake located in the midst of the Himalaya mountains at around 15,000 feet above sea level. The Sarovara is supposed to have originated from the mental dream, that is Manasa, of Lord Brahma. 58-59. Just as a base metal is transformed into gold by the mere touch of Chintamani, just as a heap of mud is transformed into gold when it falls into the water of Jambu river. Similarly, the very touch of the lotus-like hands of the Supreme Guru granted the Brahmin boy his tongue back and transformed him into a great scholar with mastery in the Vedas, Shastras and other scriptures. 60. Guru Siddha said, Therefore, O Namadharaka, no one is competent enough to measure all the legends and the power of the Supreme Guru, who has the extraordinary power to rescue and liberate everyone in this world. Whoever can understand his complete legend or even his residence in the world, he is omnipresent. He is the very manifestation of the Supreme Spirit. He alone can recognize his own qualities and nature. 61. Therefore, Gangadhara Saraswati has described this amazing legend of the Supreme Guru in a manner that attracts the person's mind and soul to the feet of the Guru. This ends chapter 17 in the Jnana Kanda in the dialogue between Guru Siddha and Namadharaka in the text known as the Legend of Narasimha Saraswati, authored by Gangadhara Saraswati in the Marathi language as Sri Guru Charitra and referred to as Sri Guru Samhita, composed in the Sanskrit language by His Holiness Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati. Om Tat Sat. Mantrahina, Kriyahina, Bhaktihina, Kshamapate. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.